This video will show you how to clean and service a TOTO Type B fill valve. Our video on identifying your TOTO toilet model number will show you where to find your toilet model number and how to use it to find any part you might need. If your fill valve looks like this or this, it is not user serviceable, and you should order this universal Type B valve as a replacement unit. We're going to take you step by step through the valve so you can determine what might need cleaning or replacing. First, remove the tank lid and set it aside. Be careful, you don't want a broken lid. Turn off the water supply. Flush the toilet. And hold the lever open for 10 to 15 seconds to completely drain the tank. Now unclip the refill tube from the overflow tube and the fill valve and set it aside. Remove the cap cover by locating the tab on the side and gently lifting up on one side and then the other. Be very careful not to put any excessive lateral stress on the shaft of the fill valve. Next, unclip the float and float arm assembly by squeezing in on the keeper arms located at the top of the fill valve. Be real careful with this next step. Note the position of the refill tube nub. This will be important for reassembly. Removing the diaphragm cap requires a twisting motion, but you must not rotate the fill valve shaft in its mounting hole or give it any lateral stress. So, hold the shaft still with one hand and turn the cap counterclockwise about 20 degrees until it stops. Lift the cap out and set it aside. Now, remove the diaphragm cap seat by rotating slightly and lifting straight up. The shaft itself also serves as a filter holder and noise reducer. Once it's removed, turn it bottom side up and pull the white filter out. Set both pieces aside. Now remove the small float ball from the bottom of the float chamber by putting one hand under the chamber and pushing down on the ball until it pops out into your hand. A small screwdriver works well for this. Okay, you now have the valve taken apart and it's ready to clean and put back together. First, check the small float ball for any mineral deposits. If any, they should be easily removed by using a Scotch-Brite type scour pad. Once clean, replace the ball into its seat by pushing gently with your finger until it pops back into its socket. You'll be looking from the top and pushing from underneath by feel, but here's what it looks like. Next, inspect and clean the long, narrow filter. Slide it back into the filter noise reduction shaft and slide the entire assembly back into its seat in the fill valve. The diaphragm cap is next. This is the hardest working part and is the most commonly replaced part. If the rubber is black, you have a pretty old valve, and you should replace it with part number THU 123. If it's red, look carefully for three things: dirt or debris particles on the rubber seat, deep markings or indentations from the diaphragm seat, any mottling or discolorations. If any of these appear, you should replace the cap. On top of the cap, you will see a very small pilot hole. This hole must be absolutely clean for the valve to shut off properly. Mineral deposits in hard water are the biggest issue. If the hole isn't clear, use a small paper clip to clean it out. Replace the diaphragm cap. Hold the shaft still and turn the cap clockwise until it stops. Make sure the refill hose nub is back in the correct position. Now we're ready for the float and the float arm assembly. First, turn it float side up and look for the very small rubber gasket insert. You'll probably see a small indentation in the middle caused by the pilot hole in the diaphragm cap. It's not a problem, but it's a good practice to flip it over so you'll have a fresh seating surface. Reinstall the float arm assembly by placing the float into its well and then squeezing in on the keeper arms located at the top of the fill valve and releasing them onto their attachment tabs on the valve body. Reinstall the valve body cap, pulling gently out on the tab on the side of the cover and pushing gently down until you hear the snaps. Reattach the refill tube, first to the hose nub on the side of the valve and then to the overflow tube. Now turn on the water, refill the tank, and check for leaks. Make sure that the refill tube directs the water down into the overflow tube and not into the tank. Otherwise, your toilet bowl will not refill to its correct water level. Great! Your valve should now work well again.